Let's add fractions with variables. In this first example, we have a variable in the numerator of one fraction, but we have common denominators. So we're going to use the same process we do for adding any fraction. We're going to keep the numerators and add them, and then keep the common denominator. We can't add b and 5 together, so we just leave it as b plus 5 over the common denominator of 6. And the next one I have subtraction, so I'm going to change it to add the opposite. Again, I have the same denominator, so I add the numerators, 5 plus negative 3, and I keep the denominator g. That gives me 2 over g. For number 3, I have a whole number 3b plus 1/2, and I know you all want to write 3b and a half, but you can't have mixed numbers with variables in them, so we have to get a common denominator. So 3b is considered a whole number, so it has an understood 1 as its denominator. Now for looking at 1 and 2, our common denominator is going to be 2. That's our least common denominator. So I'm going to multiply 3b by 2 over 2 in order to get that denominator to change from a 1 to a 2. So I end up with 2 times 3b, which is 6b. You can think of it as two groups of 3b. And then 2 times 1 is 2, plus 1/2. Now I have the common denominator of 2, so I'm going to add my numerators, 6b plus 1, and keep the common denominator of 2. And I can't add 6b and 1 together, so I just leave it as 6b plus 1 over the common denominator of 2. In the next example, I have a denominator of 3 and then a denominator with an understood 1. So I'm going to get a common denominator of 3. I'm going to do this by multiplying x by 3 and 1 by 3. So that gives me 2x over 3 plus 3x over 3. 2x plus 3x is 5x, and our common denominator is 3. And we're going to leave it like this. It's okay that it's improper. You cannot have mixed numbers with variables, so you just leave it. In our next example, our denominator in one is x, so 4 over x, and the other number, the denominator is 1. I want to change my subtraction to addition. So here I have 4 over x plus negative 3 over 1. Our common denominator is going to be x because I can make 1 into an x, but I can't make x into a 1. So I'm going to multiply negative 3 times x over x. Remember, to get an equivalent fraction, you always multiply a number over itself. So I end up with 4 over x plus negative 3x over x. So now I'm going to do like I always do, add my numerators, 4 plus negative 3x, and keep my denominator, x. I'm going to put this in standard form, which means I want my variable first, my constant last. So negative 3x plus 4 over x is my final answer. And that's the end of the video.